Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Surprising trades are happening in the NBA and a lot can happen in free agency. The Lakers need a top center, but to get him they will have to get rid of the fans' favorite player. Last-minute rumors, Los Angeles Lakers and Memphis Grizzlies to trade players and Jaren Jackson Jr. will be the Lakers' new center in exchange for Austin Reaves. The Lakers need a center. Considering the Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. might become available via the trade market. Any time that a starting caliber center or superstar big man gets brought up in trade rumors, the Los Angeles Lakers will be the first team that fans think of as a trade partner. The team led by LeBron James and Luka Doncic is desperate for a center, as they were forced to play Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura, and Jared Vanderbilt minutes at the 5 in the playoffs. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the most recent center to be discussed as a potential trade candidate, but could the Lakers trade for him? Lakers receive Jaren Jackson Jr. Grizzlies receive 2031 first-round pick Austin Reaves, Dalton Knecht, Maxi Kleber. The Memphis Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic, which opened up the floodgates for fans wondering if a trade involving Jackson is a possibility. However, reports have quickly shut that idea down, as it appears Jackson and Ja Morant are off the table. The Magic simply offered the Grizzlies a deal that they couldn't refuse. Bane went for 4 first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Cole Anthony. The move brings in an influx of draft capital, 2 rotation players who can fill Bane's minutes in the backcourt, and some salary relief that could make extending Morant and Jackson easier. Even so, fans will still ponder a Jackson trade, especially in Los Angeles, considering their massive void at the center position. The Lakers added Doncic ahead of the trade deadline in what was one of the biggest trade fleeces ever. The move sent Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks, though, meaning Los Angeles had almost nobody to fill minutes at the 5. It hurt them in the playoffs, as the Lakers lacked interior scoring, rebounding, and rim protection. Jackson offers all of that and more. He is a former Defensive Player of the Year winner who has twice led the league in blocks. Jackson's offensive game is improving every season, too. He has long been one of the best three-point shooting big men in the league, but he made his second All-Star team this season largely because he improved as both a post-up scorer and off-the-bounce isolation scorer. Jackson has spent a lot of time at the 4 during his career, but he is more than capable of sliding up a position. The Lakers need to add a center if they want to compete for a championship before James retires. He has already played the most seasons in NBA history, so he doesn't have much time left. The Lakers shouldn't be overworking him by making him step up in big man duties either. Jackson would be a perfect fit for the Lakers, especially because James and Doncic thrive so much in kicking the ball out to shooters. Would the Grizzlies trade Jaren Jackson Jr.? Despite Jackson's seemingly perfect fit on the Lakers roster, a trade is highly unlikely. Not only are the Grizzlies not looking to trade their power forward/center, but there are a number of teams who could outbid Los Angeles for Jackson's services if he were made available. The Lakers' only tradable first-round pick doesn't come until 2031, so if the Grizzlies were to blow things up, they'd want a lot more draft capital to help in a rebuild. Considering that Bane went for 4 first-round picks, 1 first-rounder just wouldn't get the job done. Austin Reaves and Dalton Knecht would be intriguing gets for the Grizzlies, though. Reaves averaged 20.2 points per game this past season, and he was even better when he didn't share the floor with James and or Doncic. The shooting guard has star potential, and he is only expendable in Los Angeles because he is a somewhat similar player to Doncic. Both guards can shoot, score, and feed their teammates with the best of them, but they both lack athleticism and defense. Knecht also had a great rookie season as a three-point marksman, but the Lakers have shown that they are willing to trade him. Los Angeles tried to answer their center problem by swapping Knecht for Mark Williams, but the trade was reseeded after the Charlotte Hornets big man failed his physical. This trade would send the Grizzlies in a new direction without forcing them to fully blow things up, but it seems highly unlikely to become reality. Jackson will probably be suiting up for the Grizzlies next season, perhaps even with a new contract. The reasons why Austin Reaves isn't worth as much as Desmond Bane in a potential trade. The Grizzlies got a sizable haul for trading Desmond Bane, but the Lakers are unlikely to get a similar return for Austin Reaves. The first big trade of this summer took place on Sunday, with the Memphis Grizzlies sending Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic. While one might have imagined that a Bane trade wouldn't involve too many assets, the Magic did end up giving up a lot. The Grizzlies received Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, the 16th pick of the 2025 NBA Draft, the Phoenix Suns' 2026 first-round pick, and the Magic's 2028 and 2030 first-round picks. They also got a first-round pick swap in 2029. The massive return has led to Los Angeles Lakers fans believing the team can get a comparable or even better haul for Austin Reaves, whose name has been floated in trade rumors. Reaves is easily the best trade asset the Lakers have, as he is coming off the best season of his career. Reaves averaged 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.3 blocks per game for the Lakers in 2024-25. You could argue the 27-year-old had a better campaign than Bane, who put up 19.2 points, 6.1 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.2 steals, and 0.4 blocks per game for the Grizzlies. While a look at the numbers and the fact that they're basically the same age, Bane turns 27 later this month, would suggest they'd fetch comparable hauls. That's simply not the case. A big reason for that is the contract situation. Bane will enter the second year of his 5-year, $197 million extension in 2025-26. While he'll eat up a big portion of their salary cap, they at least have him under contract for 4 seasons. Reaves, on the other hand, could be gone in a year. The guard has a $14.9 million player option for 2026-27, which he is expected to decline to enter free agency in 2026. So, Reaves basically has a year left on his deal, and you don't get a big haul for players in that situation unless it's a superstar. His next contract won't be cheap either. The biggest contract the Lakers can offer Reaves this offseason is $82.9 million over 4 years. That would be a bargain, but he's not going to accept it. All Reaves needs to do is wait for a year, and he will be eligible to get a 5-year deal that would pay him $42.5 million in the first year. Reaves might not ask to be paid that much, but he is reportedly seeking a salary in the $30 million starting range. That would be a significant investment, and it's one of the big reasons why the trade rumors have surfaced. It might be in the Lakers' best interests to move Reaves this summer rather than give him that mega deal next year. While he is a very good player, there are questions about whether you can win a title with him and Luka Doncic as your starting backcourt. To put it mildly, Reaves and Doncic are not good defenders. They were horribly exposed in the first round of the playoffs as the Minnesota Timberwolves eliminated the Lakers in 5 games. To make matters worse, Reaves wasn't his usual self on offense either. He averaged 16.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 0.2 steals, and 0.6 blocks per game against the Timberwolves while shooting 41.1% from the field and 31.9% from beyond the arc. While you'd brush off those struggles on offense as an aberration, that can't be done for Reaves' performances on the other end. So, even if this contract situation wasn't hovering over the team as a dark cloud, you'd think some consideration would have to be given to parting ways with him, as Doncic isn't going anywhere. Reaves' struggles as a defender are another reason why he isn't worth as much as Bane in a trade. While the latter is by no means a lockdown defender, he can still hold his own on that end of the floor. With all this in mind, it will be interesting to see what the Lakers do with Reaves this offseason. If they decide against trading him, then you'd imagine they are willing to give him a massive new deal. Would that be the right decision? You can see the pros and cons, and it would really be determined by whether Reaves can take another leap in a year or two. Lakers could bring back former draft pick to bolster roster. Could an old friend be on his way back to Los Angeles to help head coach J.J. Redick, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and the rest of the Lakers? In an Instagram post made by Lakers enthusiast Mr. 81 Mr. .81, The account made a graphic in which it broke down 5 possible free agent targets Rob Pelinka may look into pursuing this offseason. Citing reporter Kobe Price as the source, the account mentioned specifically the following names: center Luke Cornett, point guard Trey Jones, swingman Dante Exum, wing Amir Coffey, and big man Larry Nance Jr. Nance Jr. may hold the most intrigue of any name from the sheer standpoint that he once played for the franchise. He was drafted number 27 overall in the 2015 NBA draft by the Lakers out of Wyoming. The springy big man played from 2015 to 18 in LA before being dealt to the Cleveland Cavaliers as a part of the trade that netted the team Channing Frye and Isaiah Thomas. Since then, Nance has featured for the Portland Trail Blazers, New Orleans Pelicans, and most recently the Atlanta Hawks. Nance's biggest issue throughout his career has been his inability to stay healthy. He's never played more than 67 games in a single season. In particular, he's dealt with a multitude of leg injuries. The soon-to-be 33-year-old is one of those players that can be counted upon to provide positivity in the locker room, as well as high-level energy when out on the floor. The Lakers are all too familiar with what Nance brings from an intangible standpoint. Though the injuries have zapped a bit of his athletic ability, Nance is still a guy who can credibly guard multiple positions on the floor in a pinch. He's always been known as an active defender, and his three-point shooting has continued to improve as he's gotten older. More than anything, Nance Jr. wouldn't cost the Lakers very much. Considering how the team is strapped for cash at this present time, a veteran minimum deal could become very palatable, especially if Nance Jr. can stay relatively healthy and give the Lakers some much-needed front-court depth. Lakers LeBron James allegedly stated how much longer he could play in NBA. LeBron James is currently 40 years old and is the oldest player in the league. He has played in 22 seasons, nobody in history has played 23. His athleticism has taken a hit, and he's not the same player he used to be. Retirement must be on his mind, right? Well, if you think so, then you are wrong. A recent clip by TMZ Sports featuring Los Angeles Lakers rookie Dalton Knecht surfaced on the internet, giving details about how much longer LeBron can play from the king himself. "Yeah, I mean, he said he can play another 5 to 10 years, Knecht stated on Sunday. "Me and Bron could run it for another 5 to 10 years, oh yeah, why not?" It seems as if the rookie and the veteran have big plans ahead of them, preparing to dominate the league for at least another half-decade. When James has been asked this question throughout his very long career, he has never given a definitive answer. Now that he has stepped onto the same court as Bronny, could he be waiting to do the same thing with Bryce? Knecht may have had a touch of sarcasm in his answer, and it would not be surprising considering he was nearly shipped off the team halfway through the season. However, nobody knows LeBron better than himself, and he has been proving doubters wrong since he was in high school. Would it be crazy to think LeBron could continue to play until he is 50? Steven Adams' extension quietly created a Lakers nightmare. Steven Adams has set a market for backup centers the Lakers were hoping to avoid. When Steven Adams re-signed with the Houston Rockets, the Los Angeles Lakers lost on multiple levels. The most obvious manner in which Los Angeles endured defeat was in its inability to sign Adams themselves. In addition to missing out on the perfect backup center, the Lakers learned what it will take to sign an ideal replacement, and the cost is far from friendly. Adams signed a relatively surprising 3-year, $39 million contract extension to remain with the Rockets. That's a hefty sum for a player who averaged just 13.7 minutes per game during the 2024-25 regular season, but his postseason play more than justified the investment. Adams averaged 22.1 minutes per game during the 2025 NBA playoffs, anchoring 2 big sets with Alperen Sengun that helped the Rockets push the Golden State Warriors to 7 games. Adding a powerhouse who could have dominated the glass and set the tone defensively would have been a massive gain for the Lakers. Unfortunately, Los Angeles must now go back to the drawing board with the market for a high-level backup set at a significant cost. The Lakers should be able to afford the price of doing business, but if $13 million per season is the expected range, finding the ideal backup will still be easier said than done. Steven Adams may have just set the market at $13 million per season. Los Angeles will be looking to acquire a new starting center who will likely make well above the price point of $13 million per year. The expected path to such a decision is for a trade to be made, which would certainly create financial flexibility with how many trade-friendly contracts the Lakers can ship out. The need for depth is undeniable, however, for a team that's on pace to rely on G League and minimum salary centers for a second consecutive season. If Adams making an average of $13 million per season is a sign of things to come, then Los Angeles might need to pay the same to avoid the aforementioned disaster. Options certainly exist who could be worth the money, but it would be an unavoidably large investment. Veterans such as Clint Capella and Brook Lopez are likely to ask for salaries in the same range as what Adams received, and it's fair to question if the Lakers can justify following that path. Capella would certainly address the team's need for improvement in the areas of rebounding and rim protection. Lopez, meanwhile, is a proven shot blocker and floor spacer who has a championship to his name in a starting role. The hurdle in signing either of them is now a balance of the annual salary Adams received and the number of seasons he was signed for. Perhaps a 37-year-old Lopez wouldn't sign a 3-year deal, but a 31-year-old Capella should have suitors in that range. Those two aren't necessarily the only options to consider, but they're examples of the high-end players who could fit the Lakers' needs and system, and the cost such a pursuit could incur. Perhaps Rob Pelinka will find a way to work around this issue, but the immediate future in Los Angeles is bleak after not only failing to sign Adams, but learning at what point the market has been set.